If you're under 13 years old, you must make sure you have your parents' or guardian's permission to watch this video. The content in this video is family friendly, but data may be collected by YouTube for advertising purposes. Hello and welcome back to another Minecraft Let's Play video with me, Foxy, here at the Guardian... No, we're not the Guardian farm, the mob farm, hostile mob farm, squid farm, furnace array, zero-tick sugarcane farm, bamboo farm, many farm area, basically, let's put it that way. And all through the last episode and now all through today, Chuck has been AFK over here, but I actually want to move him. We've got enough stuff from this area. What we don't have enough of and what we're really lacking at the moment is sea lanterns. I've hardly got any. I've pretty much completely run out, which brings us over to our Guardian farm over here. So it's all well and good getting Chuck in here and also somebody in the nether so that they're loading the nether, probably Big Chicken or maybe Mr. Barbecue. We'll see who's available today. But yeah, I've heard rumours on the grapevine that this farm isn't performing at its best. Apparently, in the last couple of updates of Bedrock Edition, there have been a change to structure spawns, which is basically what we're relying on here for Guardians to spawn. They spawn on the very corner of that block there and they go whizzing through into the nether instantly. And apparently, if they've got an air gap above their head, like they have here, and they've got direct sky access, that slows down the spawning rates, apparently. So we're going to do some rate tests at the beginning of this video. First of all, I'm going to run this with Chuck and Big Chicken for, I would say, a good sort of 5 minutes. And we're going to see how it copes just as it is now, because I think it's pretty good, to be honest with you. And then we're going to run it again. We'll put some basically blocks over these to block them off so that there's no air gap, if you like, and see how it gets on then and see if that increases it at all. Because if we can get this faster, that would be great, because it would mean I'd have to AFK here a lot less time. So I'm going to go into the nether side of it. I'm going to get Chuck over here, and then I'm going to get Big Chicken in to do some AFKing, and we're going to set some timers and get... I just explained all that. Why am I going on about it again? I don't know. I'm a rambler. Shut up. Leave me alone. While I wait for Big Chicken to get his laptop ready, there's a couple of things I want to sort out. One is I want to just get a little bit of XP myself and, repair a few of my bits and bobs. The other thing is that some of the actual spawning pods in the overworld are not actually set up particularly correctly. Something's happened with the redstone, and basically some have still got the water flowing while others haven't. So I'm going to have to deal with that. But first of all, I'm just going to get blasted by all of these lasers. So you'll see as we head outside into the night time that some of these spawning spots have got water running in them and some haven't, which is not ideal. It shouldn't be like that. This one, as you can see, is completely fresh or dry, if you like. And this one over here has got the water in it, which is not good. So I think the best way we're going to... Oh, it looks like the water source has actually somehow managed to develop on the other side. I was going to say the way we could get rid of around this would just be to put a redstone block on that dispenser, but that dispenser's still got the water in it. So somehow this has managed to stay in without... Yeah, I don't know. That doesn't make sense. Like the water's managed to create a source block in there somehow. So I'm going to have to go around each one of these, make sure there isn't water in, like this one looks got water in. Oh, I don't want to pick up water. I want to look inside the dispenser, please. Let me look in the dispenser. See, that dispenser hasn't got the water in. So somehow that one's like... got switched about, which is weird. I know what I mean. I guess it probably happens when chunks unload or load at like the same time, or the game crashes. Something like that will cause this to happen. I wouldn't worry too much about it, but if you do have a Guardian farm, it just might be worth every now and then just check in, make sure your buckets have all still got water in. That's if you're using this design anyway. Yeah, make sure your buckets have all still got water in and make sure there's no water already there. Otherwise, you're just going to be lowering your rates. And obviously, you want to get the most out of this that you possibly can do. Okay, I've checked... Oh, I'm Chuck again. Why am I Chuck? Stop making me Chuck. Okay, I've checked all of them. There were quite a few that had it the wrong way round, which could mean that it could be a redstone thing. So if I get Chuck to trigger the redstone... hopefully they'll all come back on, but I'm just going to make sure that they have all come on, because it could be that like we've got a faulty repeater somewhere. But it looks like everything's okay at first glance. It was mainly this backside here that had the problem, so they should... Oh, that one looks like it's maybe not come on. But yeah, those all look like they've got water in. That one does. Yeah, that one's fine. And what about the ones over here? Because obviously we want to make sure that the redstone's not broken, which could be causing the problem. It looks fine though. I'm going to put it down to glitches. I'm going to put it down to bugs in the game. As usual, pretty much if it doesn't work, blame the game. Can't possibly be me, mate. It must be the game. Yeah, they all look absolutely fine. They're all full of water now. And hopefully if Chuck then turns it off again, like that. They should all retract and all of the water should disappear again. Let's just check that again quickly. It looks pretty good from first glance. Let's go over to this back corner. Yep, that looks fine. And those all look fine as well. Good. Okay, right. Now we've done that, we can get Big Chicken in and actually start doing some timing on this thing. Well, that's a lot of Guardians that have appeared just while I was doing those checks. Wow, it's even making my game stutter. There's a lot of Guardians there. We don't actually need them all. We don't need any of them. So I'm just going to use this just for XP. I'm just going to get as much XP as I can because I actually don't need any of those Guardians and we need to get rid of them in order for this thing to work. So let's chuck the first one in. Let's go and grab a load of XP. Thank you very much. And then let's chuck the next one in. Let's go grab a load more XP. There we go. I don't know why it takes 2 bottles to get rid of them all. 2 bottles always seems to do the full amount. But there we go. Look, we're on 50 levels from that, which is pretty amazing, really. I don't think we need to fix this machine. I think it's working fine. Okay, we now have Big Chicken here who looks like Chuck, and I also look like Chuck because, of course, we all look like Chuck. We don't mean to look like Chuck, but apparently the game thinks we should look like Chuck. But interestingly enough, on Chuck's screen, he looks like FoxyNoTail, which is very strange, isn't it, Big Chicken?
Oh, yeah, it's kind of weird. Also, I'm now playing on iPad instead of laptop, so I'm not very good at control game.
Great. Great, so we should expect lots of Big Chicken not being able to do the game. Right, are you okay to AFK here this time without wandering off?
Oh, yeah, I think that should be okay.
Good, right, I'll leave you to it. We're going to do some rate tests. So now I can get Chuck to actually start the farm and we can watch these things coming down. In fact, I'll stay down here for the rate test just to see how many Guardians are actually falling down. And we'll compare that to when Big Chicken goes on his own. But it does sound like, you know, things are actually ticking away down here in our sorting system. So I'm guessing we've probably got some items already going through the system somehow. Maybe from all of those Guardians that I just killed off, I guess. And that reminds me, I need to actually go and empty... Oh, no, the ladder thing. I need to go and empty out the chest so that we can actually see what items we're getting in the system rather than... Otherwise, we're not going to be able to actually... determine how quick the rates are, I guess, which could be difficult because I think there's quite a lot of stuff in these things already. Yeah, look, there's a lot of shards in there. Oh man. And what about crystals? Oh, looks like maybe someone's actually done some AFK over here. I'm guessing Slack again. Wow. Okay. Well, I'm going to empty this box. That one's full, so we know anything new coming through will go into that box there. So let's just turn a load of those into sea lanterns anyway. And I'm going to empty out this top box here, which has actually got things still coming in it. And then we'll know that top box, we'll put a sign on it or something so we can remember which one it is. But this top box and the top box the other side are where it's all starting from. Okay, last thing I need to do is to open up the... No, not put the lava on. That's not what I needed to do. I need to open up the drop so that the Guardians will fall all the way down there to their doom. I need to go down and stand with Big Chicken, and I need to get ready to start my timer, I guess. So I'm going to come stand in the corner here where we can get a good view on them coming down. 5-minute timer, and Chuck pressing the button, starting in 3, 2, 1, go! The redstone has been activated. We should start seeing Guardians falling down here any second now. There we go. Right, let's just leave it running. Well, there are currently 10 seconds to go. It's not looking particularly quick, but it's by no means slow. Guardians are constantly coming down and dying, so 3, 2, 1. There we go, there's the timer up. I'm going to stop the machine. Chuck has pressed the stop button. Let's go and see what we got. Whee! And if you're wondering why I'm out of breath, it's January, it's the new year. Every time I go AFK, I've challenged myself to either do push-ups or lift weights or do sit-ups or something like that. So I've just been doing a load of sit-ups while I was waiting for that 5 minutes, and now I'm very much out of breath, so I apologise. But it's good. Good for you. So we got, what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stacks of prismarine shards, which isn't bad. It's not bad at all. Bearing in mind we're only looking at the prismarine, we're not looking at ink sacks or fish, we're just looking at prismarine. And we got nearly 3 stacks of prismarine crystals. So that's not bad for 5 minutes. Let's now put blocks over the spawning portal thingies and see what we get from that. Now, I have many smooth stone from all of the farming we've done. We've got some sea lanterns here. What I'm going to do, and I don't know if this will affect it or not, is I'm going to put smooth stone over the top, and then I'm going to put sea lanterns on the top, because I don't want things spawning on it. I could use torches, I guess, which probably would be more sensible, to be honest with you, if we want to get rid of them. In fact, I might do that. Yeah, I just don't want things spawning on top of the, these things and affecting our rates. The last thing we want is a load of, like, zombies and skeletons and stuff wandering about down there and falling in the water. That would not be good. Right, we're going to start here, and I guess the best place to do it would be there, because we need to still have access down there to get to our things. And I guess if we get rid of those slabs as well and put full blocks there like that with the torch on the top, that should just about do it, I think. And the reason I'm getting rid of the slabs across the top is because in the latest edition of, or in the latest Minecraft Bedrock update, when you have slabs on the top of solid blocks, it messes with the spawning stuff down below. Now, technically, the nether portal isn't the spawning block, but it does, the mobs do spawn half inside of it. So I'm just going to do that as a precaution. I don't think it will make any difference whatsoever, but it's worth just trying it, isn't it, and seeing what we get. The only annoying thing about this is that when you start the system from the top, it's good to see down and actually see whether the system's on or not. There's going to be no way of actually visually determining whether the system is turned on, because you could say, oh, the system's on because I can see the water in each of the spawning spaces. We're not going to be able to see that now. So it might be worth having some sort of redstone lamp indicator to tell us when it's on. But I just don't trust Bedrock redstone, which we already discovered this morning is kind of broken because half of the water was still on and half of it wasn't. So having a redstone lamp indicator to detect whether the system's on or not, I don't think is going to be ever so reliable. But it's certainly going to be a lot easier to tell whether the farm's on than it is just obviously because we can't see. And the very last one to do, let's just switch out those and put those there with a little torch on top. That should be every single one now has got a little lid on it. I'm going to get rid of these squid. I don't think they'll affect anything, but they shouldn't actually be here because technically, I was going to say technically all this area was slabbed. I guess we never finished slabbing. So yeah, let's just get rid of those guys. I don't think they'll make any difference to this whatsoever. And let's go down and get the timer started again. Okay, I've emptied out the chests. Everything's in place. Time to go back downstairs and start the timer again. Are you ready, Big Chicken?
Yeah, I'm ready for the next test.
Good. Right. Okay, let's get the timer sorted and Chuck's finger on the button. In 3, 2, 1, go. And let's see, will we get any more coming down the tube than we did before? I don't think it's going to be any quicker myself, but we will see, won't we? Okay, 10 seconds left again, and from what I've seen this time, it does seem like it's a lot more constant than the last one. I'm fairly confident that this one's going to have won. And 1 second, there we go, there goes the timer. Chuck, stop the machine. Let's go and see what we've got. And this, if this has worked, if this has made a difference, which I believe it will have done, I've got some ideas, which I think we might be able to make it go even further, or at least some ideas worth fleshing out and testing to see how we can absolutely maximise this. So let's have a look. What have we got in here? Not much more than we did before, so let's get the last lot out and compare. Okay, so not really a great deal of difference with the crystals. This was the first test, this was the second test. Let's have a look at the prismarine shards. And again, very little difference. We've got another 48 shards on top of what we got the first time around. Let's just check I haven't left any in that box. I haven't. So yeah, it's not miles better. It's a bit better, but it's not miles better. But I had an idea, and I'm going to go to the surface and explain this idea. So, as I'm sure you're all aware, on Bedrock Edition there are two different types of mob spawning. There's something known as a cave spawn and something known as a surface spawn. A cave spawn is anything that spawns on a block that has a block or a solid block directly over the top of it. So it's basically underground. A surface spawn is anything that spawns on the top with sky access above it, or maybe glass or something like that above it. Basically a transparent block above it. So if something spawned on here, that would be classed as a surface spawn. And if something spawned down there, that would be classed as a cave spawn. Now, on Bedrock Edition, each one of those has its own cap. And in the overworld, you can have up to 8 different mobs that will cave spawn and 8 different mobs that will surface spawn in an area, which means you can have 16 hostile mobs overall in one area that will spawn. So when you've got a farm like this, it's really important that you light up your caves and things around, because if you haven't, and there are 8 mobs in caves kicking about, it will greatly reduce your rates. Now, structure spawns is a third type of mob spawning that don't or shouldn't have anything to do with cave spawns or surface spawns. A structure spawn is a mob or a hostile spawn that will only spawn in specific locations or specific blocks on the Bedrock edition of the game. So this is why this Guardian farm works like this, because there are only 25 spots in the entire Guardian farm where a Guardian will actually spawn. And they will spawn all the way from right down there, all the way up to the top of the water level. So by having these pods like this with the glass columns down below, we guarantee that we only get the Guardians spawning on these spots here, which means they can get transported to the Nether, which takes them away from the mob cap instantly, which means the next one can spawn. So it's very fast, very efficient. Now, as far as I'm aware, the structure spawns don't care whether they've got sky access or not. But what they do care about is the mob caps that they're sharing with. So we've just seen, by adding these blocks above the spawning point there, that slightly more Guardians will spawn than they did without that. So basically what we've done is we've told the game that when the Guardians spawn on their structure spawn spot, that they are now a cave spawn, so they're now fighting with the cave cap. And the cave cap should be very low because we've been and cleared out all the caves around here, and we did a good job doing that. Now, if we take those away, they suddenly become part of the surface cap, which means that they're now fighting with any mobs that spawn on the surface. So like skeletons over there or whatever like that. I'm wondering if we took away half of these blocks and let half of them be surface spawns and half of them be cave spawns, would we get twice as much? Because, well, I can't see why not. I don't see why that wouldn't be the case, considering that's what I think's happening here. And I know this is very technical and probably quite boring, but I think this is important stuff to figure out. Oh dear, I've fallen in again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change literally half of them to be like they were before and put half of them with the blocks over the top and see if we get any difference whatsoever. I don't think we will, but it'll be an interesting test, I guess. Okay, the chests have been cleared. Everything is in place. I'm going to go and position myself back here again and get ready with the timer. In 3, 2, 1, go. And there we go. We should start seeing things falling down pretty much straight away. Let's have a look. Nothing? Oh, there we go. 1. Great. And it's just about done. The timer is up. There we go. Chuck has turned the farm off. Now, I don't think that was any better than what we had before. In fact, I've got a feeling this was worse than what we had before. But let's go and check it out. We'll see. It didn't seem like they were coming down very quickly at all. And let's go over to the shards first this time and let's have a look. They're still coming through. So this was our first test. This was our second test. And this was our third test. And it's pretty much the same. They're all very, very similar. And then we've got this one here. First test, second test, third test. Again, almost exactly the same. Which basically, because I know these aren't particularly fair tests. We've only done one of each. Really, to do this properly, we should spend a good hour at each one and see what they've got. But what I'm looking at from that is that there's no difference. It really doesn't make any difference whether you put something over the top of the spawning spots or whether you whether you leave them open to the air. It doesn't seem like there's any difference at all to me with how the farm's set up. So those people out there have actually got a message on my Discord from the Real Deal Pickaxe. It says, Foxy, have you noticed the Guardian farm rates significantly dropped on TV? The one on Foxton was getting terrible rates. I was reading on the Discord where Nex and the old guy hang out that you need to build a solid block roof over structure spawns because of that. And he basically goes on to say that they built on my Patreon realm a 5x5 chunk roof over the Guardian farm, and the rates went up significantly, which I don't know. I guess it's either coincidence or when they were building it, some of the mobs that were causing the issues in the first place had despawned. I've just sort of proved very crudely there that it really doesn't make any difference whether or not you've got blocks over the top or not. So yeah, I'm not going to bother building a roof over the Guardian farm. I really don't think it needs one. But the rates don't seem quite as fast as they used to be. I will admit that it is slowed down somewhat, but not horrendously. Well, it turns out that went on for longer than I thought it would while I'm editing this video. It was only supposed to be a quick couple of minutes at the beginning of this video, and it turned out to be the entire thing. So you'll have to find out what we got up to in the rest of the video in the next one. And on that note, I hope you enjoyed this technical video. If you did, do please leave a like. If you haven't already, please do subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!